From the Campione Law Studios in the heart of Duval County, Florida. This is the unofficial Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Your host, Seth Studer. Woo! 3-1, baby. We are 3-1. Let's go. Woo! Let it ride out. Let it ride. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth episode of the unofficial Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. My name is Seth Studer. I am your host. I am an attorney here at Campione Law. They're so nice to put this thing on. When bad thing happens to good people, car accidents, all that good stuff, feel free to consider us. We'd be happy to help you out. Damn, it feels good, doesn't it? Whew. But man, can't it be easy? Can't it be easy? Since we last saw each other, we are coming off of a brutal loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, where we somehow, snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Not this time. Since we last spoke, 2 wins. We are 3-1 for the second time since 2007. 18 years. That's nuts. And so, man, Victory Monday. Hell yeah. And we did it in some ugly ass games. Man, we beat the Houston Texans by a score of, what was it? It was like 10-17. Held C.J. Stroud and company, stand back and stand by the Stroud boys to 10 points in a ugly rock fight of a game. And then the Jaguars go on the West Coast. Man, and we have lost on the West Coast so many times. Just throughout. Like, I think our last win in San Francisco was like Alex Smith's first year in 2005, right? And we go out and we gut out another victory against the San Francisco 49ers, their first defeat of the season, by a score of 26-29. But neither game was pretty. But I don't care about pretty today, baby. We win. Oh, my goodness. It just feels so good. But, and we're here just not to be the hot take, riding on the fumes. We're a bi-weekly show. So we got one of my colleagues who knows ball, Antione Pecko, excellent litigator, on. And I put on my pessimist hat. And we talk ball, talk about Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, and I think you'll enjoy that conversation. But first, I want to get some shout-outs out. And I want to do what, I've been flipping back on what the segment, but I'm going to do it. It's the preamble ramble, all right? And this is for the defense. This is for Anthony Campanile. Jaguars and the defense reminds me of that school. And by that school, I mean the one that you see on the local news your nightly news, every couple of months, where it's like, school in the gutter, turns it around. And now, all these kids that were in this terrible school are now, succeeding, and it's a turnaround story and awesome for everybody. In this case, it reminds me, before, teachers frustrated, kids distracted, chaos in the hallways. But then, you got that the hero of the story, a new principal walks in, and the new principal don't fire everybody. Frankly, all the students are the same, right? They don't overhaul the staff. But what they do is they do new schedules, new accountability, new lesson plans, curriculum, analytics, playing to the strengths of what the school has to offer. The same kids are paying attention that the same ones that were just throwing, and causing a ruckus in the hallway the year before. And the same teachers look like geniuses, all because of a new leadership, new principal there on the defense. And we got a new principal in Anthony Campanile. And, and to extend the metaphor, it's not just the principal that shows up, but a couple of transfer students roll into this new school, and they're not the whole story, these transfer students, but they bring some energy. They sit in the front row. They ask questions. They push the other students to work harder, because culture changes fast when you got a few new faces. That's what I think about the free agents that we brought in this year. On my preview show, I gotta put my hand up and say I'm sorry and make a formal apology to Jordan Lewis, who I called Jordan Davis. Jordan Lewis has been an absolute godsend for this defense. Leadership and, his execution on the field, both excellent. Eric Murray, I didn't even mention his name in my preview podcast. He's been doing excellent work. You got these kind of people brought in on defense. Emmanuel Ogbah stepped in very well for Trayvon Walker during the Niners game. Played very well. That depth. Dwan Smoot coming back. Big Smoot. Doing big things, especially there, both at D tackle and at D end. And so that's the Jaguars defense. They were 30th last year. They're 5th this year through 4 weeks against some pretty good teams. So the scheme's different. The teaching's sharper, and the accountability is real. And those couple of newcomers I mentioned have raised the bar for everybody else. Meanwhile, you got people who've always been there, like Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd playing at like an all-pro level, showing up. Same students. New story. Man, and that ends the preamble ramble. Hats off to that defense, because they absolutely carried us in the last 2 games. 4 turnovers against the Niners, 3 turnovers against the Texans. Offense, Antoine and I are going to be talking about the offense. But man, I don't care if, ands, buts, whatever. We are 3-1 for the first time since 2018 and for the second time since 2007. Like Lehman Brothers years, you know what I mean? So, goodness gracious. Couple of little stats, and the other couple of things I wanted to point out real briefly before we get to Antoine. I was worried in our preview show about our offensive line, right? And kind of the same thing. Like, we brought in a couple of veterans, Macari at guard, Hainsey at center. And they have there's been 2 games with no sacks on Trevor Lawrence. They have played excellent as a team and as a unit, especially for point number 2, which is the run game. Houston's great defense. They stuffed our run game pretty good in week 3. But the Niners, Travis Etienne and that line was able to open up, and that scheme by Cohen was able to open up holes. And Etienne had himself a day and kept us in it. I think the Niners outgained us by like 80 yards, 60 yards, something like that in the game. But we still find a way to win. And, and those are the Jaguars' losses. This is a classic Jaguars loss, right? Because I don't see this team winning those games in years past, right? But something's different in the air. It feels good. And you know what? Before we get into who's what and talking X's and O's, Jimmys and Joes, all that kind of such, let's just celebrate it. Good job, Jaguars. 3-1. Let's keep it moving. We'll have Antione Pecko here just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the unofficial Jacksonville Jaguar podcast. We got ourselves a guest. And what's that I hear? Oh, it's the rain. It's the Rainmaker. He's a litigator. He's an attorney. He is on a hot streak this year. It is Antione Pecko live in my courtroom.
Oh, listen to that, huh?
How you doing, bud?
Good. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing especially awesome now that, we're 3-1 somehow.
Oof, that feels good.
So, thanks for being on. So you're kind of coming in. I didn't really give you too much prep here, but what I wanted to do for everybody, I know some of your takes, right?
Yeah.
You're probably,
for sure.
unlike the Jags, you're more of an optimist, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an eternal optimist. I think you gotta live your life that way, and especially if you're gonna be a Jaguars fan,
True.
go season to season, you got to be an eternal optimist, right? There's always next year, and here we are. But we're 3-1.
Well, it's a good time to be an optimist, but there are naysayers out there. There's naysayers in the national media. There's naysayers even in our own fan base. Like we just got to grumble about something. You ever meet those folks?
Oh yeah, 100%. They're never happy, no matter what.
No matter what, right?
Right.
And so, and I'm kind of an optimist too, but I thought it'd be fun to do this. Because in our day-to-day work, sometimes you have to like argue the position. Like,
Sure.
I mean,
Right,
you have
right.
to argue you got a job, you got facts, you got to argue. You have to argue that position.
Of course.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you as a seasoned litigator, I'm going to try to turn the tables on you a little bit. We're just going to have like an old-fashioned like little debate. And I'm going to these are not my views, asterisk. But let's see if we can maybe get some discussion on where this team really is. Fair?
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely.
All right. So let's start off with this, man. It's 2025. 3-1, coming up a hot victory
Yes.
on the West Coast. How are you feeling? Just tell me about it generally.
I'm jacked. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I'm like, I wish we played tomorrow. I just want to go watch them again. No, I'm really optimistic, even more than what I would typically be.
Yeah.
I was having more tempered expectations just because obviously the roller coaster of being a Jags fan, you get, all excited about the season and then the season plays out and then it's kind of wah, wah, wah. But this year feels different. And to me, there's a few reasons why it feels different. But for my statement here, I'm going to give you two big reasons and we can kind of flesh those out as far as why I feel so optimistic.
All right. Show me what you got. What do you got?
So my first item, it's pretty simple. They're having success right now, and they're still learning the playbook. They're still not playing that good of football right now, if you look at it, right?
That's a reason for optimism?
100%. Hear me out.
All right.
Okay, so again, we're 3-1, and let's start with the negative, right? You're talking about playing devil's advocate. I'll go down that line. We've had some sloppy play. Right, we've had a lot of penalties. We can't even get into formation half the time. It seems like the first couple of games, we started to pare that down, but we've had a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball. Offense, we've also had some on defense too, with the pass interferences and the holding calls that keep popping up as well. So we've had that, and then the big thing with the drops. Right, the drops have just been. Out of control.
It's a story in and of itself, the drops this season.
Exactly. And, I know the big story everybody's focusing on is just what BTJ has been doing with the drops as well. But, I mean, any Jags fan who's been watching the games every play, not just watching the highlights like the national media guys do and just develop the storyline is...
Trevor Lawrence throws hospital balls or something like that.
Exactly.
Right?
But, I mean, there was De'Ami Brown that dropped some balls.
Yeah.
I mean, it went... Everybody was dropping balls. Etienne was dropping some balls too. So that, and then we also had our guy Cam Little, who nailed a 70-yard field goal preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're saying, okay, let's just get to the 50-yard line and we're good for at least 3.
Right.
He missed a kick yesterday. He missed a kick last week. But all of those negative things, though, we're still 3-1. And so what I love and why I'm so optimistic is I think last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, these types of issues we can't come back from. We're done. We're dead. Game over.
The classic Jags loss.
Absolutely. So the fact that we're still learning the playbook on both sides of the ball, right? Because we've got Liam Cohen. He's got his offense, which is from my understanding, is a very sophisticated system. Puts a lot on Trevor's plate as far as calling plays, audibling into new plays as well. Something completely different than what he's ever done in his entire career. We've got the new defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile.
Campanile.
Oh, man, this guy is unbelievable. But he's got a unique system, too, that all of those guys have to learn on the defensive side of the ball. And so given all of that, where we are, that's why I'm so optimistic, is because we're already in a good spot.
All right. So let's now put that optimism to the test, okay? Because you made some good points there, and a lot of which I agree with, but some of which I agree with a lowercase a, okay? So, but to be the Titans advocate, the Devil's advocate, whatever you want to say. So,
are you gonna eat some mayonnaise when you be the Titans advocate?
No. Okay. I don't. I'm no mayo man. Good old Will Levis, who's actually coached up and made look good by none other than Liam Cohen.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Kentucky alum. That's right.
And so, let's start with the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. So, to counter your point, hey, everything's fine. We're still learning the playbook. Think about this. Liam Cohen and Baker Mayfield only had one season together. That was last season. In that season, Baker threw for over 4,000 yards and like 40 touchdowns. So far, 4 games. Let's talk about Trev a little bit. And you talked about the drops. But at the same time, you got to put some on the quarterback too. He's been, let's see here. Trevor Lawrence this last year has been 84 for 144, 58.3%. 58, sub 60. 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. Throwing for, 200 yards a game.
Right.
So, I mean, we're in year 5 of this guy. Like, of hyping him up. He's the next Andrew Luck. He's the next Peyton Manning. What if, God forbid, all of the haters are right and he's just, as the kids say, mid?
So, a couple things I would say to that. First of all, this is his, 4th or 5th different offensive system in his 5th year. So he's had
third coach.
So he's had to learn a new system every single year. So there hasn't been any stability whatsoever.
So is Baker Mayfield.
And you know what? And it took Baker Mayfield a while before he got to that point as well. I mean, he's on his, 3rd or 4th team as well. So it takes a while to get to that point too. I remember when Josh Allen, the first 3 years, all the guy would do is turn the ball over. He would have interceptions, he'd have fumbles. And there was a little speculation of, hey, this guy's just a little bit too risky with the football. Maybe he's not the guy. And then he blossomed into being this incredible powerhouse that he is today as well. So but I'm an optimistic in this regard with Trevor.
Well, let me ask you a specific question then. Is Trevor Lawrence the guy?
The guy just period? The guy for Jacksonville?
The guy for Jacksonville.
Give me some parameters.
No. Is he the franchise quarterback that's going to win us more games than lose them?
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I believe he is. That we're 4 games into this new offensive system, and I think that's what I'm getting at with my optimism with this. I'll give it to you. The stats for him: 5 touchdowns, 4 picks through 4 games isn't stellar. No. The completion percentage isn't stellar as well. His receivers aren't helping him out with catching the ball. I mean,
I can't even. Yeah, I got no counter to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of drops. But the thing that's not appearing on the stat line, which I've been seeing, which I like, is what I was talking about earlier with Liam Cohen's offense, is that he's giving Trevor the ability to read a defense when he gets up to the line, audible, kill that call, get into a new call.
Right.
And that's what he did on the play last week whenever they're playing,
Houston?
We're playing Houston last week when he hit BTJ for that I think it was like a 30 or 35-yard pass as well. That was a run play. He audibled out of that, killed it, and called that play.
Because he saw cover 0.
Yeah, that was blitz. A great play. Great job by him. So I think he's starting to get comfortable in that and seeing kind of the field, seeing the defense as well. So I think that it's not going to be a perfect. But the other part of the NFL, too, is as the season goes on, there's going to be ups and downs. It doesn't matter how good you are. The Chiefs have some bad parts throughout their season. We can talk about the Eagles. Eagles don't, even though they're winning, their offense is very stagnant right now. And so it's a matter of just trying to get through the season, figure some things out, and start peaking towards the end. And so I'm optimistic with that. This is my final point on Trevor, putting on, again, I'm not a pessimist, but I'm putting on my pessimist hat, is the stupidity of Trevor.
And what I mean by that is so many interceptions, like at untimely spots of the game. You got to think about that one against the Bengals, right? And just floating it, over the middle. And he's got one or two of those just completely misses. You got to think about the fumbles, especially in his first couple of years. He's cleaned that up a little bit.
Right.
But I remember one game against Philadelphia where, it literally just kind of slipped out of his hand.
Yeah.
And even the situational awareness. Let's just take yesterday, right? Sliding out of bounds to stop the clock.
He was trying to slide. He just didn't get down in bounds.
Right, but it's like, bro, just slide.
Right.
And so I have no better word for it. I'd like to say the football IQ is the nice way to play it. Of Trevor as a quote-unquote pessimist for today is what really concerns me as essentially an opposition to what you had said. I'll give you the final word on Trevor, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, no, so I guess with how I evaluate this, how I look at this is that is he the next Peyton Manning? No, I don't think he's the next Peyton Manning. Can he still be can he still be a consistent top 10 quarterback in the NFL? Absolutely. I don't need him to be number 1 or number 2 or number 3. You be a top 10 quarterback, we can win with that. I mean, especially the way this defense is playing,
right?
That's all we need. We don't need you to do anything more than be within yourself, within the confines of Liam Cohen's system, and then you're going to be successful.
And now to actually give you my honest point and how I actually feel, I think you kind of nailed it right there. Listen, we don't need Trevor to be Superman. We don't need him to be, Mahomes. He's not. We don't need him to be Josh Allen. He's not. But we just kind of need that solid top half quarterback play. But for the haters out there who are watching, you can tell when they have watched Trevor game tape and when they haven't. Because because a lot of times how they're doing this is going, oh my God, it's a 50% completion percentage.
Right.
And then it's like, 13% of his attempts have been drops.
Because they're not watching the game. They're just look at the stat line.
Well, and you see one or two highlights, but the problem is Trevor, it requires nuance. Right. And if there's anything these shouty shows hate the most, it's nuance.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, 100%. And also, going back into the system, you see a lot of those plays too where he's trying to hit BTJ on an out.
Yeah.
And he's running a go route as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of let's get on the same page, because that's another thing too with BTJ and Trevor is that he got injured last year, the second half of last year as well. So when BTJ was coming on, it wasn't with Trevor. And so they still have to develop that chemistry as well.
And that kind of brings me to the next point, which is kind of the wide receivers and BTJ. We kind of hit on a lot of it, but let me ask this question, which was kind of, I heard it on a podcast, which is kind of interesting. So last year, I think Mac Jones plays, 6 games, 7 games out of the 17, right? And BTJ had about 70% of his production with Mac Jones. And the one thing that got me thinking is that, does Mac Jones throw a more catchable ball than Trevor Lawrence? Does Trevor Lawrence only have a 4-seam 98-mile-per-hour fastball and not enough touch? Is there something literally in the way that he throws it that BTJ is not comprehending? Or is it, but you think 4 games, and even what you said, 4 games in the season, you got to be able to work some of that out. That's kind of my actual kind of pessimist view on it, is that, at least on Brian Thomas Jr., you got to get it together. Now, he had a better game this last game, but we can't forget what happened in weeks 2 and weeks 3. So, give me your spin, brother.
Yeah, so I think this just comes down to it just comes back to the drops. I think you catch those balls. He's got at least 1 touchdown pass or 1 touchdown catch, probably more than that at that point. Trevor's stats go up. De'Ami Brown dropped a ball that was hit him in the hands in the end zone as well. 100%. That was a touch pass. That wasn't a bullet in there as well. To me, it's just, I think the receivers have a little case of the yips.
Yeah.
Right? It's just catching the ball. Just catch the damn ball. Catch the damn ball. This isn't that hard. But to that point, it's just like in basketball. Right? Ball's not going in the hole. Shoot or shoot. Do you tell Steph Curry to stop shooting because he's not making them? No, you got to keep shooting. You got to get out of the funk. Same thing with these receivers. You just got to keep going to BTJ, which they did a little bit earlier yesterday.
Yeah, they tried to feed him.
They're doing shorter passes, intermediate passes, get him comfortable, get him going, get him lathered up. And I think I'm not worried about the drops, the yips.
You're not?
No. I mean, I'm annoyed by them. It's pissing me off, but
No, yeah,
we're gonna be fine moving forward.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the stats right now. BTJ does not have a touchdown. He has one rushing touchdown, but his completion, so 32 targets, 12 receptions, a 37.5 completion grade.
Is that good?
Yeah, right? Good God. And again, like what you're kind of saying, like, again, you just got to keep trying. I mean, it's obviously...
It's mental.
Yips.
It's mental at that
mental.
point. There's no technique. I mean, this guy's paid a lot of money. He was at a rookie deal.
He was third in yards last year.
Yeah. He's going to be fine because it's just, I think he just kind of got in his head. He dropped a couple, and then it just kind of snowballs as well. But he's going to be fine.
So let me, and this is something, again, I kind of, I'm putting my pessimist hat, but I want to talk to you about Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
So we trade... Obviously, move up 3 spots, give up second-round draft pick and a first-round next year for a non-quarterback. I thought it was a great trade at the time. I still think it was a great trade. But this is what let me break down what his snap usage has been generally. First game, almost exclusively on offense. I think the coaching staff said something about he still needs to learn the playbook, et cetera, et cetera. And I think he was hurt. Actually, that's why he didn't play in the second and third preseason games. Right? And game 2 against Cincinnati and game 3 against Houston, he played a lot of snaps on both. And now we go back to the San Francisco game. I'm trying to remember how many snaps he played on defense, but I don't think it was double digits. And he had a really great catch.
Yeah,
right?
Incredible,
like climb the ladder catch, like on third and like a mile for like 31 yards. And besides that, and then he had one catch, right, against Houston where he kind of did that fake spin move and then just juked the socks out of somebody. So you're seeing the talent there. But wait, we went from heavy usage on both to just usage on offense against San Francisco, and actually like BTJ. Travis Hunter's completion percentage for targets and receptions is 38%. Are you worried about how this has been going on so far?
No.
Why not?
Not at all. So with Travis Hunter, as everybody was talking about, he's a unicorn, right? He's one of one. So he's placed 2 positions for us.
One catch, one reception? Is that unicorn?
So what we're trying to do with him is we're trying to figure out kind of the load management, and that's what Liam Cohen has talked about in his press conferences is how do we bring him along, because he has to learn 2 brand new systems, right? 2 systems he's never dealt with before, never handled before, and at the same time, he's got to go through a full slate of games, 17 games, right? So I think it's a matter of trying to bring him along from an offense perspective, defense perspective, also as a load management for him as well. The other part of this is for the game last week where he played more, or yesterday where he played more offense. I think that was mainly due to the De'Ami Brown injury.
Okay,
I think De'Ami Brown is the number 2 guy, since he was out, they had to put Hunter in more. So that's why he stepped into more of the offensive snaps.
So, but why not? So why did they decrease his snaps in week 4? Like, I mean, I understand he played, but he didn't play that much more offensively. It's like, I don't know if they're rethinking it. I don't know if it's a coaching decision. I don't know if it's a logistics problem. Like, hey, we don't have enough practice time to do it. I mean, what do you think it is? And what do you see going forward it going to be?
I see it as far as I think that what they're trying to do is figure out what they have. They're trying to manage him as well. And it's almost like an evaluation, kind of load management, putting him almost like a pitch count as well. Like when you're bringing somebody back from an injury, you want to put a pitch count, a certain amount of minutes on him. I think that's what they're trying to do as well, put him in on certain packages as well. And I think as the season progresses, as his comfortability, then they start to bring him in on more packages as well.
And I mean, and I know you're an optimist, but let's see what you honestly believe here. So let's say it's week 12, like we're deep into the season at this point. Is Travis Hunter playing a majority of snaps on both sides of the ball, or is he going to be playing just a few situational snaps on offense or defense, or what do you actually think is going to happen? Gaming this out.
I think what they talked about was he's going to primarily play offense, and then they're going to put him in on certain coverages on defense as well. So I think it's going to be, if it's a 70 offense, 30% defense, I think they're gearing more towards that as well. But we'll kind of see as things go along.
Well, if that's the case, right? And we got, and we traded up, 3 spots to get an extra first-round draft pick. Again, I think it was worth it still now. But hypothetically, to put my negative hat on, I mean, can't you see why folks would go, listen, why would you want, a number 2 receiver and a corner that plays, 15 snaps a game and think that's worth a first-round pick?
Well, I think you can make that judgment call at 4 games in to his career to say, 100%. all right, he's done. He's not a first rounder. But
the story's already written. That's all, folks.
But I think some of the flashes we've seen. I mean, like that acrobatic catch that he made yesterday. What was that, 3rd and long on their own 5-yard line? He made a 25-yard. I mean,
it wasn't a great
catch.
throw. I mean, it was high.
Yeah. But that was an incredible catch by him. And I saw something on X with Dan Orlovsky did a snapshot of his blocking. He got down by the tight ends. He was inside, and he came and laid a nice block to free up Etienne on a run play as well. So I think those are some of the things that are that nitty gritty don't show up on the stat sheet.
Right. That
you're starting to see. It's because Liam Cohen's offense also requires a ton from the receivers and the tight ends as far as blocking goes.
Yeah, and actually, and then to close out the Travis Hunter, like how I actually feel is that, again, we're in week 4, guys. We're in week 4. Let's see how it develops. He's such a naturally gifted corner that we know that if he can, master the offensive side, you can shovel on those defensive snaps easier. Because, I mean, I think there's like 1 or 2 plays I watched there on the All-22 with against Christian Kirk in Houston. And just Drake, I mean, the technique is just so perfect. And you don't have someone with those kind of skills on both sides of the ball. So you might as well try it, and you got to make sure you maintain. It's an experiment.
Right.
Everyone knows that this has never been done before. This is history going on right now.
Right.
And
not
so
Deion.
right. I mean, and even Deion didn't play that much offense.
Right.
I mean, shoot. So it's really one of those things where I think it's harder for the coaches than it is for Travis Hunter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens here, going forward.
Hey, you mentioned Christian Kirk.
Uh-huh.
God, I'm so glad he didn't score on us. That would have been such a
right.
Jaguar thing of old if he just torches us, right? A former player for us.
That's why I'm
straight away.
That's why I'm happy that Mac Jones didn't start against us. Yeah. It's like I got Chad Henne driving 92 yards on us flashbacks from that Kansas City playoff game. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. No, 100%. Just the ghosts of Jaguars old, right? Okay. So let's turn to defense, where we can both agree, as optimists and pessimists, that it has been awesome this year, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
A revelation.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the Jaguars, I hope I have the numbers right. 8 turnovers all of last year.
9.
They have 9. They have 13 turnovers, takeaways already through 4 games.
Is that good?
Yeah, that might be pretty good. Averaging 3.25 a game. And so my question, putting on my pessimist hat on again, is going, and let me ask you straight up, Antoine, I'm going to do the lawyer thing. Isn't it true that we would have lost if we hadn't have gotten all 4 of those turnovers yesterday?
Objection, speculation.
Yeah. Yeah, sustain.
It's I mean, everything's possible.
Likely.
Is it possible?
Likely. I think we needed every 4 of those boys to win that tough ass game. So here is my kind of question then. 13 through 4 games is not a sustainable pace. It's not. It can be replicated to an extent, but what do you? I mean, if they just start, not turning the ball over, are you scared that we're going to be losing these kind of close, gritty games that we won in week 3, and week 4?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously 13 turnovers through 4 games is incredible. And
yes,
long term, likely it's not going to be sustainable. So, I mean, I'm as eternally optimistic as I am.
You must concede.
I'll concede that. But here's my thought process with that. Okay, so if the defense, the turnover margin starts to come down a little bit, right? If they're not getting 3.25 turnovers per game and it turns into, 1 to 2 for the next few games as well. My thoughts are as we start stacking weeks, this offense is just going to start clicking at some point, and then we're going to help take that void, the offense, to take the pressure off of the defense as well, where the defense isn't winning all these games. Now the offense is going to take a step in that right direction. We're going to start catching the damn ball.
Objection, speculation that the offense is going to start playing well.
I'm going to move to strike that.
But I see where you're coming
and
from.
So that's the way that I'm looking at this as well, is that they're going to start playing better because right now it's complementary football.
Right.
The stats that I'm looking at,
even special teams with that Parker Washington.
Oh, that was incredible.
That was sweet.
We can talk about the takeaways. The stats that I think are important are the takeaway giveaways, right?
Yeah. Right.
How many times are we
turning
over
margin,
the ball, and how many times are we getting the ball back? So, just to kind of put some numbers on this, so last year,
right,
we finished 29th in the NFL in takeaway giveaway differential.
Yeah, it's not
2023, 21st in the NFL.
Right.
Now 2022, that was
Playoffs.
our magical playoff run, right?
Right.
We finished 7th.
Right.
And I like to go back to that other magical year of 2017.
The old Saxonville.
Yes, we finished 5th. Do you know what we are through 4 weeks?
What are we now?
We're number 1. We're number 1. So we're
that's
in a good spot.
But again, that seems so much luck based, kind of like projecting forward 4 weeks in the season. But you're right. I mean, the question is we know that number is not sustainable. But is the offense going to, as we had talked about earlier, going to increase and kind of be able to complementary football, have the offense be able to carry a couple of games too, and we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So let's look ahead, and this guy we'll do this as kind of like the final-ish question. Okay.
Well, can I give you my second reason why? I
By all means, I didn't mean to cut you off, counselor.
So optimistic.
Go ahead.
See. Okay. All right. Here's my second reason. I think that the coaching staff and the front office, that they're cooking after 4 games. And I think that the first 4 games, this is just the appetizer. I think we are just going to be on fire moving forward.
I hope so.
So we've got Mr. Coach, keep my name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen here.
Will Smith them.
Oh, my gosh. He is cooking. And these players, they're so fired up. I mean, you see the videos. You see they're just so jacked when they see how hyped he's getting with everything. They love this zestiness that he's given some extra confidence to the team.
100%. And it's really funny that, just the dichotomy between his initial press conference. I'm not even going to try to imitate it. I just wanted to be like on its own. But the dichotomy between that and his post-game speeches has been, and then him and then trying to go after Robert Saleh, who would frankly rip him in 2.
Right, for sure.
I respect the hell out of it though. I love it. I love it,
and it's showing again that zestiness. And I think the players love it. I mean, he's got a little swag though. He was rocking those Jordan 11s yesterday too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. All right.
So we got that. Then we've got the D coordinator. We haven't talked enough about Mr. Anthony Campanile. He's a character straight out of The Sopranos. Do you remember when he was on Hard Knocks when he was with the
I
Dolphins?
heard that. Ass kicking. They speak all types of ass kicking around the world.
I got the quote. Everybody understands ass whooping. I can go to Greece. Someone starts getting their ass whooped. We all understand what's happening. we might not be able to communicate, but if someone's getting their ass kicked, nothing's lost in translation. All over the world, they speak ass whooping, F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb. Love you guys. Let's go have a great effing practice.
Just what a jeez.
I mean, how do you not want to go play for that guy? How do you not want to get a turnover for that guy?
Oh my gosh.
So we got that.
Jersey defensive Jesus.
Oh my. And then we got the front office. We got the babyface assassin of James Henry Gladstone.
Zaddy Gladstone is my boy. And listen, I personally share those. But let me end with one more hypothetical before we kind of do our little sign off. We got a tough stretch. All my rowdy friends here on Monday night, home for Kansas City.
Yes.
Then we host the Seahawks. Good team. Then we go across the pond and play Los Angeles, which
it's home game, right?
With quotation marks, against the Los Angeles Rams, who put the beat down on Indianapolis Jones yesterday in actually a shootout. So let's just do worst case scenario here, all right? Because I'm the pessimist here. We're trying to be. Mm-hmm. We lose all three. We're 3-4. Antoine, do we make the playoffs if we are 3-4 after our next 3 games?
We can still make the playoffs if we go 3-4. Absolutely.
Why?
Titans are the Titans. They're eating mayo and losing games right and left.
We got 2 games against them remaining. Okay.
I think Houston's still not a very good team this year. That they got rid of too many offensive linemen. They have no offensive line.
So you think we sweep Houston?
I think we can sweep Houston as well. And the Indianapolis Colts, we've always owned them. We've owned them for a long time. So we're going to continue to beat them as well.
At least at home.
Yes.
So maybe we split that.
Right. And I think they're on this streak where they're going to start to come back down too.
Right.
I think we found out yesterday about that, and I think that trend's going to continue as well.
For the Colts, yeah.
So...
3-4, you still like our chances.
I do, because I think this division's up for the taking, and I think we can still grab it.
And actually, I agree with you too, because coming down the stretch, we play. I think it's at Arizona, at Denver, both of which looked harder than they actually are now.
Right.
We host the Jets. We play at Las Vegas. And that's including the division. We got 2 of the Titans and such like that. So I think even if 3-4, I think then I'm on the podcast going, guys, stop it, we're good. I actually think that the schedule would actually bore out that way. But again, that's just taking the Debbie Downer view. And we'll be right back. Actually, let me ask you this, Antoine.
Yeah.
To close it out, since Shad Khan got the team in 2012. Mm-hmm. He is the losingest owner in the NFL. The Jaguars, no other team has lost more games since 2012.
Right.
So why can't to put like the jinxie, like voodoo hoodoo spin on this, right? Why can't I say, hey, listen, Antoine, you made great points. They're based in logic. They're based in reason. They're based, in some sort of fact. Jags are going to jag, brother. I mean, Jags are going to collapse. I mean, that's this entire millennium. What would you say to folks like that?
Well, I think kind of going back to what we were talking about with who we have as far as a coaching staff, and I think the front office, I'm so bullish on the setup that we have because, we've gone through this iteration, right, since 2012.
Compared to what we had.
Like we've gone through so many different iterations with he who not be named, the Ohio State and Florida coach, Mr. Hansey, and we've had the old coaches that come back. We've had just so many different iterations, and in the front office, it's been Balky and all these other different front office personnel and GMs and everything else as well. I really like the way that we're set up with Liam Cohen. I think he's got that fieriness in him. I think he's an offensive-minded coach, which is great. And he's getting to Trevor, and I think that Trevor kind of needs that. he needs to kind of pull him out of his shell and say, hey, I'm not always going to tell you that you're doing a great job. I'm going to fire you up and I'm going to call you out when I see something I don't like.
Sure.
So I like that dynamic, and I like the GM with Gladstone, with what he's doing, the babyface assassin, trading up, getting players.
And versus what we've had.
He got rid of 24 players last year. Right. From last year's roster to this year's roster, there's 24 different players. So you've got these young guys, these young guns, and then you've got Big Bo Baselli, who's, our Hall of Famer, left tackle, cornerstone of the franchise, and I feel like now he's protecting, serving the team, right? And the community, because he's trying to protect them and provide a good product out there as well.
Our only gold jacket until Fred Taylor makes it. Right. Or last week's guest. Thanks for following up, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I see is this is a good organizational structure that they have now. Kind of going back to Baselli, I think he's good because he kind of helps bridge the football side of things with the ownership as well.
Tap it off. Okay. Compare that craziness and that this level of dysfunction, just put a bow on it to now, based on some.
Well, that's why
this is Antoine Schefter over here.
I think that's why I'm just optimistic because it seems to me that there wasn't really the bridge of being of a football person.
Yeah,
that was kind of helping advise ownership as well. When you see these hires with the Urban Meyers and some of these other coaches and some of the front office and the power grab between Balky and these different coaches, there wasn't really any alignment with that. Is that I feel like we're in such a good position now with Baselli, who truly cares, I think, about the city, about the Jaguars as well, where he's going to help, foster this symbiotic relationship, if you will.
So you're not predicting any more owner Tony Khan calls to the sideline with this regime, are you?
I can't promise anything. I can only hope.
Oh my gosh! Wow, what a bar! You scoundrel! That is nuts. Well, you know what, Antoine? I think this is actually. I think a little skip in. Stephen A. I think we did a good job here, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you got a little Stephen A. swag here with it.
Yeah, brother. Of all in character, this dude sees me in my real attire. But Antoine, hey, thanks for coming on, talking ball. It's been a lot of fun. Go Jags, and we'll be right back.
Duval.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And before proceeding to our closing segment, I'd like to thank once more Campione Law, my employer, for allowing me to put on this podcast. Again, motor vehicle accidents, you get hurt, it's not your fault. Give us a shout. We'd be happy to help. I'm excited. I'm excited because we have and are redoing the Claws of History. 2 weeks ago was about Star Wars and pre-production. This week we got something I think y'all will like. But we're going to reach back in the past to see what the Jaguars need to think about into the future. So, on this week's Claws of History, April 15th, 1985, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Marvin Hagler versus Thomas the Hitman Hearns, the middleweight championship of the world. Two legends, two different styles. Hagler, southpaw bruiser. Hearns, lanky knockout artist with a right hand that can drop a donkey. And from the opening bell, there's no dance, no feint, no easing in. The first round, it's still called the single greatest round in boxing history. That's not an exaggeration. 3 minutes of pure violence. Both men walk out and immediately start throwing hands. Not feeling each other out, not probing, just bombs, hooks, uppercuts, overhands, blood pouring early. By the midpoint of that first round, they're already staggering, swinging only on instinct, just daring each other to blink first. And that's what the Jaguars have felt like these last 2 weeks. Week 3 against the Texans, week 4 against the Niners. Ugly, turnover-driven wins. Not careful, not composed. It's been Haymaker football. Fumbles forced, Interceptions, tip passes, and short fields capitalized on. It doesn't look clean. It looks like survival. Jacksonville right now is Hagler or Hearns in the middle of that first round, refusing to back off, just trying to land the next bigger shot that will end it. But here's the key. We're only halfway through the first round. And that's what makes this the perfect parallel. Because in 1985, the round one didn't last forever. The crowd roared. History was made. But by the end, both fighters bloodied, exhausted. You just cannot keep throwing like that. You cannot contain and sustain 3 minutes of chaos, let alone 12 rounds of it. For Hagler, eventually the fight settled, and he found a way to impose his style, his system, ending it in the third round with a knockout. For the hitman Hearns, the adrenaline burned too hot, too fast, like Icarus. His legs gave out, his power faded. And that's the danger when you live and exist in a brawl like the Jaguars have been doing. We're at that exact tension point. We're winning ugly. We're gritting out victories. But Haymaker football is not long haul football. If the turnovers dry up, if the chaos slows down, we need to be able to box. We need to jab, to defend, to impose a rhythm. So yeah, man, let's celebrate the wins because it's been unforgettable so far. But also understand, no fighter survives 12 rounds at that pace. And no football team survives 17 games at that pace. At some time, at some point, this Jaguars team has to show it does not and cannot only win by brawling, but by controlling the fight. And right now, we're still standing, still swinging, still in that glorious, terrifying first round. But the bell is coming. And the question's this. When the bell rings, do the Jaguars come out in round 2 with a real plan, or do we go out like Hearns? History says you can't live in round 1 forever. Make sure to buy uninsured motorist coverage. Thank you. See you in 2 weeks.